Welcome back to Antigua Barbuda. Today we're talking now with CEO of Project Jaguar, an Antiguan technology company, and his name is Trevaun Solomon. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Doing good. How are you?
I am very well. Always a pleasure speaking to you. And now I know that there are updates with Project Jaguar, but let's start with the training program. Tell us about that.
A few months ago, we had the idea to start training teachers on how to effectively cover a larger part of a curriculum without students feeling like they are cramming work or doing too much at one time. It's called response to intervention training. And at first we started it with primary schools here in Antigua. We started with secondary schools in Antigua, starting with Clare Hall Secondary, in partnership with Mr. Azil Ashworth. And last month, we actually trained our first school in Jamaica. This is the first school outside of the OECS that we did the training with. And since then, we've had more trainings lined up in Jamaica and Trinidad. So it's been pretty rapid progress with the response to intervention training.
And you've since renamed yourself Jaguar Academy. Tell us about, why you decided to do this. And I see that training is happening even outside of the OECS, as you mentioned.
Right. Well, since most of our business has been around teaching and training, we found Jaguar Academy to be a bit more fitting. However, the software behind Jaguar Academy, that portion of the company is still called Project Jaguar. But it was just easier for parents, teachers, students to quickly recognize what we do if we just named ourselves Jaguar Academy. So that's why we went ahead and renamed ourselves.
And what sort of partnerships do you have that has helped to connect you across the world and across the region? Because persons may wonder, what work are they doing that they're allowed to actually go forth and do such training, even outside of Antigua and Barbuda? So tell us the work that goes into it.
It's quite a bit. There's one partner that we have in Jamaica, who has helped us to reach to the schools there and help us to understand what's the academic climate like there. What cost structure works best there. That's Smart Term Limited. We've been partners with them since 2018, and they've been very, very helpful. They also operate our payment centers in Jamaica, so when a school or a parent needs to pay for any of our services, they go straight to their office, and it's essentially the same as them going to our office here in Antigua. There are also some smaller businesses that we partner with. For example, we partnered with a printery in Trinidad, which operates as our payment center. We operate with JAD Cash. In the last competition we were in, the Sustainable Business Development competition, they had actually finished third place. And so we communicated with them, and they said, sure, yes, you can work with us. So St. Vincent, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, those 3 islands, our offices are being operated by JAD Cash.
Wow, and this is pretty interesting work, considering that, as young, sorry, I think we're having some technical difficulties. So considering as a young person, you're getting so much done. So what are some of the future goals for Project Jaguar?
Well, right now, we're just focusing on expanding. We're trying to keep things simple. We have done the renaming. We've done as much as we can to fine-tune the training and the tutoring. But along with that, we're trying to bring down the price of tutoring even more. So I think I'd sent a chart of how effective our tutoring is, especially cost effectiveness, compared to other Caribbean islands. And for example, our average cost per hour for tutoring is $15 compared to the average in Antigua, which is close to $27, if I can remember correctly.
And that, yes.
Yeah, so that green bar is how much our tutoring costs.
Wow.
So we've made it much more accessible for parents and students all over the Caribbean to access our tutoring, from grades 2 all the way to 6th form.
And speaking about expanding, are you looking towards becoming Antigua's first fully online school, or you're going to expand towards where we have a physical Project Jaguar Academy campus?
Well, both are reachable. We are already accredited by the Ministry of Education, so we could look at becoming Antigua's first completely online academy that can accept students from anywhere in Antigua, and then that becomes one of Antigua's next exports, education.
Every time you speak, I just feel even more intrigued to ask more questions, because I am still stunned that as a young person, so much work is being done. And you recently opened an office in Harvard Square. How has that really helped and shaped the work that you have done and the work that you continue to do?
Right. So we work with a company in the U.S. to offer mental health training to college students, college and university students in the U.S. That started with the University of Delaware, and now we're doing that with MIT and Harvard University and University of Massachusetts. We have 40 students from each university in this cohort that's happening, and the training lasts around 2 to 3 months. So the universities are pleased with the service. They can come to the office, pay. Most of them just pay online, but at least we have a physical presence so that they trust us a bit more. Apart from that, we are currently discussing what other services we can offer within those that cluster of universities. But right now, nothing is set in stone yet.
All right. Well, but the work is being done. The groundwork has been laid.
Groundwork has been laid, yes.
And, you know, I'm trying to figure out, how does yachting tie into Project Jaguar? Because, you know, the new yachting season is coming up. How excited are you is the question that I'm seeing here.
Well, I actually have not considered how yachting fits into Project Jaguar. But since you mentioned it, I will think of that and then come back on and tell you about it.
Definitely. Well, it is a pleasure always having you here, Trevaun Solomon. Continue doing the great work that you do, and I'm sure that you inspire not only young men, but just young persons in general across, not Antigua and Barbuda only, but you're making your footprints across the globe. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Well, stay tuned with us right here. We'll return in just a few moments.